Code monkey get up, get coffee. Code monkey go to job. Code monkey have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say code monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do code monkey think? Code monkey think maybe manager wanna write login page himself. Code monkey not say it out loud. Code monkey not crazy, just proud. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man. Big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you.
What's new, Dino Dudes? It's me, the Raptor, and welcome to another episode of Reaction and Review with the Raptor. Tonight, Dino Dudes, or today, I'm filming this at before noon, so it's still the morning actually. We're going to take a look at the newest DC animated movie. You have no idea how excited I am for this. I'm looking at Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Some really quick context, I love crossover comics. Ghostbusters meet the TMNT. Batman and Spawn, Batman and the Punisher. I love crossovers because it gives us unique looks into characters and how they interact with other characters. My all-time favorite is Archie vs. Predator. Yes, that is a thing. Look it up. It is amazing. So when I heard they were going to make Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was psyched. 2 years ago when it first came out. Now, they're on the third installment of it, or technically the fourth if you don't count Batman TMNT Adventures, or Batman the Animated Series meets the TMNT. Technically, this is the third in this one series. They did a spin-off with the animated versions. The comics have been amazing. You have no idea how excited I was to find out they were making an animated movie off of this. So you know what? That's all I'm going to say for now. I have high hopes for this. So let's kick back, relax. I got everything I need. I got a cold can of Mountain Dew, some pizza pockets, and a banana bread muffin with chocolate chips I made earlier. Let's watch Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, so first of all, okay, that's a good reference. Can you guys hear this music? This is also an amazing intro theme, and some of the coolest looking opening credits I've ever seen. It's stylized, it's unique, and it's all done in a black and white style like the old Ninja Turtles. It was great. We're less than 3 minutes in, we've already had an awesome ninja fight, and I am so hyped for the rest of this movie. I am in love with this movie.
Could be. Wait for my signal to... Nah, I got this.
Everything about this movie is fantastic. From the action, to the acting, to the music. Let me just turn it down. Everything so far has been fantastic. The references, the jokes, the characterization.
Now, we need answers. You're welcome to try.
I love this movie. Also, why am I still wearing these? That was honestly terrifying, actually. In the comics, they didn't show what happened with that part. I'm not going to spoil it. That was actually kind of weird. And it looked awesome. But, yeah, that was just kind of creepy, actually. Far weirder than I was expecting.
Aw, don't pout, Puddle. I love your scales.
I go through all this trouble, and it's like he doesn't even see me.
You work so hard.
That is amazing. I love what they've done with the Joker, and I never thought I'd say that. That is terrifying and disgusting, but that is also an amazing design for the Joker. Same with Two-Face. He's the coolest design out of everyone here.
It's rescuing time.
This is... Okay, I know I keep saying this, but this movie is entertaining. It's everything you could hope it was. That might be the coolest thing I've seen in any of these DC animated movies.
I think he's gonna be okay.
I don't want to spoil what just happened, but that whole sequence
Saved him.
might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen them do in DC animated movie. It was just cool, it was action-packed. Everything about that was just great. So there's been something about this movie since it started I've been trying to figure out. Something about the animation. And I finally realized what it is. Unlike every other DC animated movie I've seen, with the exception of like one or two, this has a completely unique art style to it and isn't following the whole New 52 look. That's great because they're able to kind of give all the characters their own unique style, their own unique designs, which I don't think has ever actually been in any of the comics, and was designed completely for this movie. That's fantastic because they look amazing. I'll talk about it more in the actual review, but that's just a big point in the direction of these movies, or at least this one. So that was Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the credits are all these old classic comic covers from Batman with the Ninja Turtles added onto them. I love this so much. Like, this was such an amazing movie. Okay, let me just pause it and shut it off and yada yada yada. So, pretty much everything about this movie was perfect. Let me put it that way. Straight up, this is my favorite DC Universe animated movie, potentially only second to Batman The Dark Knight Returns. And even then, they're tied now. Between Batman The Dark Knight Returns and Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those are my favorite DC animated movies. Now, the title is a bit misleading, as there is a very brief fight scene with Batman and the Ninja Turtles, but then they team up. If you've read the comics, you have kind of a decent grasp on what's going to happen in this movie. However, seeing how close they stuck to the actual comic made me very hopeful that this means we will get sequels where we can go through the other Batman Ninja Turtle crossovers. So, when it comes to doing a crossover, there's one thing that is very important. You never want to make one side look perfect and one side look like idiots. If you recall correctly, if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, Turtles Forever kind of completely botched this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Fairless Turtles Forever. He does a very in-depth review, and he's a much bigger Turtles fan than I am. He talks about how it's really kind of an insult to both the 2003 Turtles and the old 87 Turtles, because, well, the 87 Turtles look like idiots, and the 03 Turtles look like jackasses, essentially. So, what this movie does, though, is it perfectly writes its characters. Batman is shown to be what he is, a tough, no-nonsense crime fighter, but he isn't heartless. He's dark and he's brooding, but he also can lighten up when he needs to. The Shredder, they make him a very viable villain, but they don't make it that he's a one-sided, oh no, he's so powerful, what do we do, kind of villain. Ra's al Ghul, despite being, kind of an oh no, what do we do villain with how powerful he is, he at least has been established that he is this strong because of training, not because of the plot demanded we need a tough villain. The Ninja Turtles are all written perfectly. There's very little of the whole Leonardo and Raphael always going at each other, which seems to plague every Ninja Turtles movie when they have to do the origin. It always has to begin with Leo and Raph hate each other. They fight a little bit in here, but they're family. If you don't fight with your family, there's something wrong. Donatello, he's the whole machine dude. He got a bunch of great lines, and Michelangelo steals the show in this. He is funny, he is honest, he has some pretty heartfelt moments, and he pretty much is any Batman fan if they got to meet Batman. His reactions to the Batmobile, the Batcave, to Batman himself, everything is perfect, and it all is exactly as how this character would act in the actual comics. Best of all, if you have never seen a Batman comic or read a... Wait, why did I say never seen a Batman comic? If you've never read a Batman comic, or never read a Ninja Turtles comic, or you've never seen any of the movies, or the cartoons, or the video games, or the live-action TV shows, yeah, including the TMNT live-action show, both the stage one, coming out of our shells in the next mutation, but the less said about the latter the better. You don't need to for this, as this movie just straight up goes, okay, these are these characters, let's go. They don't actually waste much time talking about their origins. They actually don't discuss Batman's origin at all, which I was very thankful for because, well, even if you don't read Batman comics, you know his origin story. We don't need it again. But they did explain the Ninja Turtles, not their origin and how they got mutated. They do in like 2 sentences, but they explained a bit of history about the Foot Clan. That was a very interesting and well-animated sequence because it went to much more of a calligraphy, is it? Like a Japanese art style. I don't know what it's called, and I feel bad for not knowing what it's called because it's beautiful, and I love that type of art. So the writing is great. When I heard that the Joker and the Harley Quinn and all that and all those characters were going to be in it, I was a bit nervous because, well, if you've seen my Injustice 2 review, you should know my thoughts on the Joker and Harley Quinn. However, they are used the right way in this movie, as they both have not much screen time, but they are given funny lines, and they're just made to be villains. Plus, they do have an interesting plan, and they very much just serve as villains for the Ninja Turtles and Batman to take on. Plus, it's fun to watch them being villains this time, unlike, well, some other versions I've seen. It's true, I've actually seen versions of the Joker where it's really boring to watch him because he's Jared Leto, I'll just put it that way. Or Joaquin Phoenix, apparently, in the new movie. That looks terrible. But here, all the villains are written great. The plot's quite simple, to be honest, and a little bit... Some of the dialogue is a bit cliched, but it's still a fun, action-packed comic ride that any comic fan could get behind. If you like the Ninja Turtles, if you like Batman, you're gonna love this. Something else to talk about with the writing. I know I mentioned it sticks close to the comic, but there are multiple scenes that are actually taken directly from the comic, including dialogue and all, which is good because the dialogue was really funny in that. There are several jokes in here I was genuinely laughing out loud during. Like, just laugh out loud funny because of both, well, visual gags and spoken lines. But it's not to say the movie has no heart. In fact, when it needs to be, it can be a very, oddly not like tear-jerking, but very much a, like there is heart to what they do in it. This is clearly not a movie that was just made to try and make money. This is clearly a movie that was made by comic fans, which are the best type of movies. So let's talk about the acting. We don't have our usual cast of, well, DC Universe animated films coming in to reprise this. It's not Jason O'Mara, it's Troy Baker, the guy from Batman Arkham City, the Arkham series. He does a really good Batman. He also plays Joker, a bit more subdued this time than some of the other incarnations, which again, I'm thankful for, because it actually makes him a bit more threatening. Pretty much all the actors in this are fantastic. Now, I was thinking, who are they going to get to play the Ninja Turtles? Will they get the guys from the 2007 series, Rise of the TMNT? What are they going to do for it? Well, they got completely new actors. The guy who played Iron Tiger in the 07 series plays Leonardo, I believe, or maybe it was Michelangelo, I don't remember. But they don't have actors who have played Ninja Turtles before, but the actors they did get are fantastic. The actors are great. They bring a lot of effort, they bring a lot of life, personality, and just enjoyability to these characters. Admittedly, Donatello had a few lines that seemed kind of poorly delivered towards the end, and I'm not sure what was up with that, but they're very, very brief, but they do stick out. So if you are kind of looking for that kind of stuff, you're going to notice it. Don't know how long that's been going on, but my mic was unplugged partially, so I've been recording off my camera audio. Sorry. Anyhow, the acting, great. They got a new person to play Damian Wayne, and I actually like this one a lot better. His characterization is great. Yes, he is kind of stuck up. Yes, he is kind of like, Damian Wayne, but he's not obnoxious, he's not hateable, and he gets some pretty good lines. And he's just a likable character this time. Compared to some other incarnations of him, that is a miracle. Yeah, the girl that got to play Batgirl, fantastic. All the villains are played really well. And I dare not spoil what they do with the villains because it is creative, it is awesome, and it has one of the coolest scenes I have seen in any of these DC animated movies. Period. So I mentioned the animation and how it was doing something different. See, all these DC animated movies like Death of Superman, Flashpoint Paradox, War, Throne of Atlantis, they all follow a New 52 style of character designs and animation. That is good because, it looks nice, but it also can seem kinda, I don't know, it's a very unique style. You kind of want something different after a while, because it feels like you're not watching movies as much as you're just watching a TV show. So thankfully, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe, had completely new designs for all the characters, a completely new animation style, while it is still 2D, and everything looks fantastic. The Ninja Turtles all look unique and distinct aside, so you don't have to think, wait, which one's which, just by looking at their headbands. For example, Raph is a bit bigger and a bit bulkier, like he is in Rise. Donnie is skinnier, Mikey is smaller, and Leonardo's the most basic looking, I guess. It's a good distinction, because that way it's easier to tell, aside from their voices as well, who's who. And yeah, they don't sound like one another. Everyone sounds very unique. I love the design of Batman, I love the design of Robin. I think the Shredder design they went with is both a good mixture of classic Shredder and some new updates to it. Ra's al Ghul looks like he has for a long while, so why change what isn't broken? And again, what they do with the villains at one point, it looks fantastic. My only real complaint with this whole movie comes from the animation, in that a few spots it is a little janky, but then again, this is kind of how their animation has been done since they've started doing these. So if you're not used to slightly janky animation, what can I tell you? Like, it's what they've been doing for years. And it certainly does look nice, though. It doesn't look bad, it doesn't look fake. And it does not take away from the movie. That is the most important part. It does not take away from the movie, and you can still enjoy it. Just thinking here. That really is my only real problem with this movie, is the animation somewhat, but even then, it isn't a big deal. The music is fantastic, I know I mentioned it, but they've got a good mixture of rock and synth and classic Batman music. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil why. There are so many references to classic Batman, Batman the Animated Series, callbacks, references, nods, jokes, jabs. Like I said, this is clearly written by people who love Batman and love the Ninja Turtles. Everything is done caringly, everything is done with so much detail and so much just passion put into it. I cannot recommend Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles highly enough. I am giving it a solid 4 out of 4 Raptor claws for both quality and entertainment. This is, like I said, one of my 2 favorite DC Universe animated movies. Please make sequels to this. In fact, they could write original stories for this and use this cast and this animation style. I would still watch it. I'd love to see a Ninja Turtles Justice League crossover. They did it in the comics with Power Rangers and Justice League, so why not Ninja Turtles? There's so much potential for more future stories in here, and I really hope they do go out and work with it. But like I said, if you like Batman or you like Ninja Turtles, you're going to love this. If you haven't seen Batman or Ninja Turtles, don't worry, you're still going to love this. If you're a comic fan, you're going to love this. If you love DC Universe animated movies, you're going to love this. If you're just looking for a fun 90-minute animation to take your mind off stuff or to throw on in the background or you want something to entertain your kids, you're gonna love this. Now, yes, it is rated PG-13, and there are a couple scenes that are a little bit creepy looking, but there's nothing too gory, nothing too graphic, and I only mention that because I do know kids, I do know kids who watch this channel, so yeah, parents, it's Batman and the Ninja Turtles. There's really nothing you need to be that worried about. There's some mild cursing, but then again, your kids are probably hearing far worse on the playground at public schools, so yeah, it is what it is. Overall, I cannot wait for this to come out on Blu-ray. If Sunrise Records has a steelbook of it, I am buying that sucker because this was just amazing. And I know what I'm doing now. I'm going to go play some Mortal Kombat 11 again, or maybe Rage 2, and I'm going to throw on a couple DC animated movies, and I'm just going to binge them. Yeah. I don't think I've been this excited about a movie in a long while. This just openly giddy about a fun animated movie in ages. Maybe since Into the Spider-Verse. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, I know I've been saying this more and more now, and I'm sorry, it's just I feel like I have to. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. Let's talk in the comments. And until next time, this has been the Media Raptor, saying keep cool, and I will see all you Dino Dudes around. Cowabunga!